Hello guys, welcome back to yet another video. Now today we are doing a Dragon Ball Super discussion on the Dragon Ball Super episode 131 ending. Now that is the final episode of Super, and I say we are discussing it because I am here with MJxTV. Please say hello.
Hello everybody, it's BG here, and today we're going to be talking about my favorite series. I'm just kidding, that was for BGBISKIT. What's up guys, MJ here. Thank you for having me back on the channel, bro.
All good, man, all good. Now, I just want to sort of address the elephant in the room. Fucking MJ is not BG. BG's channel will be linked down below. Fuck it, you know. Why not? BG and MJ will be linked down below. But yeah, let's get started. So, MJ, I want to hand it over to you first. What did you think about the ending overall? And we see... you know, in the title of this video, it's, was the ending satisfying? So, in your opinion, what was your initial reaction to the ending? Do you think it was satisfying? And on repeat viewings, did you think the ending stood up with the other endings in the franchise with, you know, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball, and Dragon Ball GT? What do you think?
At first viewing, I was caught up in the hype, but at the same time, it wasn't like the week prior with 130. With this episode, even though I was caught up in the hype, I wasn't too enthusiastic about it. I just kind of said, yeah, that was fine, you know. They did what they could, you know, with the time they had and the schedule they had, and they tried to fit everything in there, and it was aight, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't think it was horrible or bad. It was aight, you know. But then on repeated viewings, I kind of was like, okay, that's cool, you know what I mean? I obviously still have some issues with it, but overall I was like, alright, you know, I was thinking about like a 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10. It was just alright for me. Then of course, Anime AJ, shout out to Anime AJ, I watched his video recently, and I'm talking like a few hours ago, and that did kind of change my opinion on the episode, because now I'm thinking, bro, I may give it like a 7 out of 10 now, because even though some of those issues I had still are there, overall, I think for what this ending was to what we got in the overall arc, and not the series, I'm just talking about this arc itself, the Universe Survival arc, I think even though things did kind of go by quick, I think it does kind of wrap everything up pretty nicely, in my opinion. At least in my opinion, you know, at least what we have in this arc. Is it satisfying? I think so. Could it have been better? Yes, I give it a 7 out of 10, but as far as comparing it to the other endings, I would have to rewatch them, bro. I just told you off air, I'm rewatching GT right now, so I would have to really think about it, but I have seen some people actually say that it's better than Z and GT, which is their opinion, and, you know, I respect it. I can't say for myself right now.
Yeah, no, I think that's perfectly fair, and I think I agree, actually. I think I have to go through and watch Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball GT, and then get up to the endings, because just comparing the endings solely on their own, it's a little difficult to do, and I know some people have done it.
I'll say this though, this probably may be one of the best looking endings, because, you know, freaking Takahashi, man.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. That action, like that whole entire first half was absolutely incredible in terms of pure spectacle and action, but to compare with Z and GT for a moment, I think the ending was satisfying because we have confirmation of a new movie which will continue the events after the Tournament of Power. Now let's say if that movie wasn't confirmed and this Dragon Ball Super ending was to wrap up the series and to wrap up the Dragon Ball franchise until another series, you know, gets greenlit, you know, later on down the track, you know, in a few years. If we didn't have this movie, would the Super ending really hold up and be satisfying? Yes, to a certain degree, since, you know, it's just satisfying to see Universe 7 win the Tournament of Power and 17 to get the wish, and, you know, for everything to be wrapped up, every, you know, pieces on Earth. But then we see Frieza, which, you know, kind of teases at the new movie and what's going to unfold. And why did Frieza need to be there? It was kind of jarring. Like, let's say the movie wasn't happening and you saw Frieza and, you know, he was there and it's like, then it ends, and it's like, that's not really satisfying, because at least with GT and Z, it was open-ended. At like, you know, the super ending is GT and Z were open-ended, but the difference is there was no looming threat in Z and GT. Everything was wrapped up, the villain was defeated, you know, etc, etc. So yes, while with GT and Z had Oob, and then, you know, with GT, Goku flew off with Shenlong, there wasn't any threat, you know, that stood a chance, and there was no looming threat there. So, you know, GT and Z worked, while in Super, Frieza's a threat, and while he's not, you know, really, you know, a match compared to Goku and Vegeta anymore, and especially Beerus and Whis, you know, he's not really a threat, but he is still a villain out there looming across the galaxy. So it's a little weird, you know, it's a little weird note to end that off. So without the movie, I think it's satisfying, you know, in terms of Universe 7 winning and all of that stuff, but it's not satisfying in terms of, oh, this completely wrapped up every loose thread. But with the movie, it just gets me hyped up, you know. It just gets me way more excited for the movie, ending it this way, so it's a double-edged sword.
What Particle's talking about, for the people who haven't seen episode 131, I assume you have if you're on this video, Frieza was brought back to life by Whis, and he is shown in one of the post-credit scenes of Super, and it's pretty much heavily implied that this episode is leading directly into the film, because I don't know about time-wise, but as far as them teasing it, they heavily teased it in 131. And with that being said, I do get your point, and I think it's a good point. But here's something I would bring up, which mean you were talking about off air, and that was the idea that even way before this movie existed or was in the head of the big honchos at Toei, it was we had the Dragon Room. We have the Heroes manga, you know, we have the video games and all this stuff. If they really did end it this way, with no confirmation of a movie and with no implication of a new series, I still think it would favor Super, just because they could still, you know, use that groundwork and finish off some of those plot threads in the video games, in the manga, in a, you know, a new manga from the Dragon Room, or even in the Heroes manga, you know, try to connect the dots, you know. However, though, some of that stuff is not read or seen by the casuals. Video games, probably. Heroes manga and a new manga like from the Dragon Room, probably not. And what I mean by that is most people, at least, I don't want to use the word normie or casual, but most people probably don't know about the reincarnated Yamcha manga. You know what I mean? Most people probably don't know about the Heroes manga and stuff like that.
People with lives.
Yes. Yeah, we're all fat nerds in a basement, but nobody knows about that stuff. So even if they did try to tie those things up and kind of expand on, let's say, Ultra Instinct or Universe 11 or Frieza being alive, most people probably wouldn't even know about it. You would have to go digging for it instead of having the pleasure of watching like on Crunchyroll or watching it in the big screen, you know, in theaters. So I do get your point on that. I just think that even so, they could still tie that stuff up with other forms of media. However, though, I think you're forgetting about somebody. You mentioned no looming threat in GTZ, all this stuff. I think you're forgetting somebody here. Freaking Pilaf, man. I mean, that guy can take over the world at any point in time, bro. What's Oob and Goku gonna do against Pilaf, man?
I guess we have to cancel this video, man. Okay. You just exposed me. Oh, goddamn.
I'm just kidding.
But, like... But, like, yeah, I don't know, man. It's... I'm not saying I didn't like the episode. I think the episode was actually really, really good. But it's just, you know, a couple of things that don't make it, you know, seem like a 10 out of 10 episode to me. But that's just me. And, you know, if Frieza wasn't there, then I wouldn't get as much, you know, hype as I am right now for this movie. So I'm glad he was there. But, you know, if the Super movie didn't exist, then it's kind of hard to excuse the fact that, like, oh, why isn't Frieza, like, dealt with? You know, that's kind of weird. But anyway, guys, that's basically it. MJ, did you have any final thoughts or takes regarding the Dragon Ball Super movie and the Dragon Ball Super ending, man?
The ending, I think, was satisfying. I think it was cool. One thing, I think you probably see this for another video topic, but I think what I liked most about this arc, and this is something that that was brought up to me, and for the life of me, I can't remember the name, otherwise I would give credit, but this is not my idea. Somebody actually brought this up to me. Now, this probably was not in the head of Toriyama or Toei, but if you think about it, the Future Trunks arc was all about the mortals can't change, and they cannot evolve, whereas in this arc, we saw a lot of different people change, a lot of people evolve into better people, and I think that's kind of cool. Like I said, I'm not too sure that was their intention, but I do think that's kind of nice, and the continuity there, at least writing wise, I think is pretty darn cool. Like I said, that still doesn't excuse the problems that I have for 131. I'm not going to say it's a 10 out of 10 episode. It was a satisfying ending, and I have ranked it up. I give it like a 7 out of 10, you know, at the highest, which is pretty good. I mean, bro, this episode could have been a lot worse. This could have been like episode 67, bro.
Yeah, it could have been a disaster. Yeah. And to give this episode credit, you know, they did go out with a huge bang with, you know, Takahashi, and this episode was quite well done, like in terms of the script, and for what they had, you know, filling in the 22 minutes with so much content, they did a really good job. But what do you guys think in the comment section down below? I want to hear what you guys have to say regarding the Dragon Ball Super ending and how that ties into the Dragon Ball Super film in December. Now please go subscribe to MJxTV, links down below, and also subscribe to BGBISKIT, links down below. But anyway guys, until next time.